Surprise! Y'all thought we weren't gonna be here this week? We here. Not for a long time, but for a good time. So let's get into it.
Hit him hard, let's go. That T-E-C-K, running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game, like you can. Mr. Lady is spitting real talk for the entertainment. Other podcasts stand the game up and they get stuck back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that the better get their nose ready at a home city. And I'll get it boss, keeping on the low setting. And you know what you say, so we never gotta get tight than everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like there's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit them hard. Got them throwing in the tap. Tell the red, blow the whistle. This is technical file.
Welcome to episode 443 of Technical File, the sports podcast you never knew you needed.
And it's your boy, Timkinz, the number 3, a.k.a. Catch him, a.k.a. Mr. Give It To Me. What up, though?
I am the Eric J.
Only known as
The Eric J.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real life Tifa Lockhart, the girl next door. You know, holding it down for all the women who love sports. Kay Harris, the gentleman, is not joining us this week for this makeup reschedule date of the podcast, so to speak. The man has family plans, so safe travels to Ken and hope that him and fam have fun this weekend. So that being said, make sure you follow Tech File on the socials. Technical File, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Technical File Podcast all together on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. We generally record the show live this week. Again, surprise, we're here. Here's the full episode. Doing this kind of old school, taking it back to the days where it was just us throughout the episode. But generally, we do record these live to get interaction from our Tech File fam. So make sure that you are subscribed and up on when we go live. Normally every Tuesday evening, around 6:30, 7 p.m. So come be part of the show with us, especially next week when we are back to our regularly scheduled programming. So for this week's show, a couple things to talk about here. This is why we had to do it, because we normally record Tuesday nights. That was the same night as night one of the draft. We mentioned before we probably would not be recording that evening because of the draft, trying to find a makeup time, and here it is. Let's just start here. Giannis Antetokounmpo was traded. Giannis is no longer a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis were traded to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Kasper Giacochonis, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. Plus, they got the 13th pick in the 2026 draft. They got 2 other future first and a pick swap. Am I missing anything there? I think I got a second round in there as well. So
Yeah, 2030.
a pretty decent haul the Bucks got back from the Giannis trade. I'm not going to start this conversation with my feelings on the Giannis trade. Let's start. Actually, you know what? I want to start with Tim, because I know Eric, when the trade broke, I think the day after, Ken asked us just like, how's everybody feeling? And Eric was like, I need a little bit more time. I just need a little bit more time before I actually give a response. Tim had an answer ready to go right away. So let's start with Tim, and then Eric can go ahead and give his thoughts, and I'll just kind of clean up on that one. So the Giannis trade, we are four days from it at this point.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
We found at the same time me and Tim were playing 2K with some friends when the news broke. So we had this moment where it got quiet real quick for a second, and everybody's kind of like, dang. Then it was like, well, that's a pretty good return for Giannis. So, Tim, how are you feeling that the Giannis era in Milwaukee is officially over now?
My reaction was, my response in the group chat was, it was a fun run, hell of a run, fun while it lasted. End of an era. It is what it is. I even put out I don't even be on X like that no more. I made a little tweet on X. It was like, hey, it was a hell of a run. It really was. It was more than what we've thought we would get. Like, I did not expect for us to see a championship in my lifetime, at least. So the fact that we actually got one, and in this world of instant gratification, they make 5 years seem like a decade, or 20 years, or 30 years ago, because everything is just so quick. Okay, on to the next. But 5 years removed is still relatively new, honestly. The feelings that people can feel from that championship season are still relatively fresh. So it's not like just because it's gone from today doesn't mean that we as a whole, as an organization, as a city, didn't appreciate what he did. Like, I'm appreciative of it. That's why I'm like, it's more of a hell of a run. I'm appreciative of the years that we were bad, to watching them grow, to watching them be good. I'm appreciative of the time that he came into the store. I was able to help sell one of his first phones and shit like that. Like, that's dope. Like, I got that memory and shit like that. But at the end of the day, like, you typically don't want to see stars like that lead a team, and he said that he didn't want to. But as this season went along, as we saw last year, the year before, we kind of just, we seen it without even being back behind the closed doors. We seen it. It was palpable. Like, this ain't finna work out, bro. Like, at some point, this is gonna have to end. And this season was the culmination of all of that. And as it sucks to have to let a player go like that. I don't feel the way I felt when we traded Ray Allen. Ray Allen felt like blindside. This one felt like this was bound to happen.
That's fair. Yeah.
So I was more so like, as a Wisconsin native who have other superstars who have decided, and torn between the love of the city versus the love of the organization, it's time to go. Like, it's at the business time of it. Like, if you didn't want to make the business decision to stay, they have to make the business decision for you to go. To make sure that the business is still good, because once you go and you retire and stuff like that, you don't want to look back on your organization and like, damn, your organization sucked, or damn, I did bleed them dry, or whatever like that. Like, I didn't set them up, because you want to go back and be honored. You want your jersey raised, shit like that. Like, you probably think of things like that, because your trade will be brought up when you come back. What did you do to help the organization on the way out? So I'm glad that he didn't put his thumb on the scale and be like, I only want to go here, and this is only where I'm going to sign, because he could
Publicly.
That'd have fucked everything for us.
Yeah, publicly.
The fact that he didn't do that, even though everything else behind closed doors was going on, that helps the organization moving forward. Because, like you said, we did get a haul of players under 25, at least 4 of them, and they recent first round picks as well, on top of 3 first round picks in the future.
Hero was the oldest one, and he's 26. So
26. But yeah, outside of that, everybody else is what, 22 and under, or 24 and under? Because Jaquez, I think, is second oldest.
Jaquez is, I think, 24 or 25.
So like 4 players within the last, and all first round picks within the last 4 or 5 years, on top of the 3 picks this year's and 31 and 33 that's coming back. Like, that's a lot from one organization to another. Depending on what happens, it is what it is. But now you have assets as an organization to, 1, look forward to a brighter future if you can. 2, you have, okay, this is building blocks that we can keep. These are pieces or people that we can go ahead and try to figure out what to do with. But it's one of those things that now this is no longer centered around Giannis. Now we get to see what the organization going to do again, trying to figure out how to get back to where we were before.
Yeah.
It may take another piece like Giannis in the future. It may not. But now we're back at a point, and I'm excited to see people do their damn job, not sitting around him. I want to see what people can do. Now it's just not one person heavily influencing roster decisions and things like that. We got 15 spaces. We're going to use all 15 of them effectively and efficiently without pissing somebody off. And if you do, they're not the same stratosphere as he was. So they could probably give a fuck less, especially after you just got done with a situation like that. So I want to see how the restart is with this organization and see who actually going to earn their monies out.
I think that's fair. I think that's really fair. E, how are you feeling about the Giannis era coming to an end here in Milwaukee now that you've had some time to think about it, think things through a little bit?
I think when I said I needed time to think about it, I was thinking more in the span of like months and years as opposed to hours and days, because it's raw, and like not like an emotional sense. It's just like it's clouded by like the last year and a half essentially of Bucks basketball, or as has been a common refrain this week, like basically since Bud got fired, like that whole kind of back end of his Bucks team was just, and I was saying like as we were living through, it's just like this isn't fun. Like, it's not fun to watch this team. It's not fun to deal with like all the noise around it. It's just been really annoying. So, to your point, like 5 years isn't that long in the grand scheme of a lifetime, but like 5 years when when we're seeing like the evolution of franchises, in the current day NBA, like it is a lifetime ago. So I understand like his antsiness, I guess, to a degree, but also it's like the goodwill kind of like left, especially like the last 6 to 9 months that we've had to deal with.
Yeah,
like the really loud noise. It's just like I'm all right, bro. Like get going. Like by the end, like and yeah, I don't know. So like I am appreciative of the tenure in totality. Obviously, you guys the title. This is the best era of Bucks basketball that I'll probably ever have, which is just kind of sobering, but also it's like I'm ready to turn the page. I'm ready to move forward. I like that we have so many different avenues to kind of go into this next area of Bucks basketball, whether that means like keeping the pieces that we got or flipping them for more assets and really tearing it down. I think I'm looking forward. Like I'm annoyed with some of the conversation after the fact, like just people changing their opinions on things that they were very steadfast about for the last 7 years, and also like the confirmation of like we did kind of understand what was going on without knowing what was going on. Like I think we've had conversations about so many of the things that have come out in like Jim Ozarski's piece and then Mona Shelburne's piece today, where it's just like, yeah, from the outside looking in, it was exactly what we thought it was, if not a little bit worse. But over like trade package wise, like I preferred, like I don't know why they didn't consider flipping Jaylen Brown then for additional assets. Like I don't understand why that wasn't on the table. But we'll see what Jaylen Brown goes for, because it seems like he's definitely getting traded. So we'll see, like the door that we didn't choose. But if the options were between Jaylen Brown, a couple first round picks, maybe Hugo Gonzalez versus the trade package that they accepted from Miami, like I preferred Miami's. So yeah. I'm glad that they went that route.
Yeah, I think the Jaylen Brown piece of it, I think part of why it was that Milwaukee took that Miami offer, and I have no inside information on this. This is just me taking a look at what was done and what we've heard being said. I think the Milwaukee Bucks really valued having 2 lottery picks in this draft. So I'm thinking that wherever Jaylen Brown ends up, most likely will not be one of those teams that were picking before the Milwaukee Bucks in the draft order. That's a guess here, because to Eric's point, if that was going to be the case, they could have just rerouted, Brown themselves and got that lottery pick, made the selection and gone from there. But ultimately, I'm just in the space where this ending was very dragged out. This last season was, as we've heard people from the locker room say, a dark cloud over the team that was just following them with all of this questions around Giannis's future and whatnot. So I am glad that part of it is over. I'm glad we have a resolution to the situation, but it is still sad. Like the Giannis time in Milwaukee, none of us knew he was going to become what he actually became. We watched the ascension of a guy who was unknown, thought that he was going to be a draft and stash his first year, play, find his way, and become not only the greatest player in franchise history, but one of the greatest players to ever play the game, period. And you don't get talent like that often. That's why that talent is called generational. Like it's not something that comes your way often. And like Eric said, there are things that we thought were going on behind the scenes, such as the disconnect between Giannis and the front office, such as Giannis might not be publicly saying that he wants to be a Buck, and he's publicly doing all of these things where he's saying how much he loves Milwaukee, and we'll never hear him say, I don't want to be a Buck publicly, but behind closed doors, he was making it very clear that he did not have interest in remaining on this team, given the fact that he did not believe they could be a championship contender. And I think that's fine. I just wish that he was straight up about it. Like, I think there was so much that he was doing because he didn't want to be seen as the bad guy that he ended up looking worse than he should have if he would have been just straight up and like, I tried, I love this city, but I no longer want to. This is not going to work. If he said that publicly instead of giving public message of like, I never want to leave, but like behind closed doors, you saying, get me out of here. And I think he was the one who made me think about this during the season where he's like, these ESPN reports are coming from somewhere. Feels like they're coming from Giannis's camp. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel had an article about that. They didn't confirm that, but they heavily suggested that it was Giannis's camp that was the one leaking stuff to ESPN about his discontent in Milwaukee. So I'm glad that all is over. I think that he should still be appreciated. The mural should remain. Like all of that still hangs. It still flies in Milwaukee. I hope he still has his house here. I hope he still comes to Milwaukee. He's talked about how his dad's buried here. His kids' passports say Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So like there's going to be love there forever between Giannis and Milwaukee. I will say I already know I am going to be frustrated at points this upcoming season with the Miami Heat stuff that's going to happen. It's like seeing your ex with somebody else new and you're still working through the emotion of like, I wish we ended on better terms. Like I still got love for you. And I know we don't need to be together. I know we don't need to be together, but I feel like you're rubbing things into my face at the same time on the way out the door. And I don't like that, but
somebody actually texted me that the other day.
That's how it feels.
Not about me, but like they situation. Like but in the case of the ex, it's the biggest fear. You become what you wanted them to be for you the whole time.
Yeah. And you see them do it with somebody else.
You know, I'm realizing like, I ain't never got dumped before, so this is a new emotion for me.
Oh, I've never been dumped before.
I ain't never been the heartbroken.
I'm always the one.
I was just the heartbreaker.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't know that side of the heart.
Simple peons with heart broke. Like,
where's the empathy? Empathy for who?
This man's first heartbreak is Giannis leaving. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That's crazy.
I won't say heartbreak. Yeah. First time somebody moved on and said, I can do better. And
then did better.
I appreciate it. I mean, we'll see. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's a slam dunk that, you know, Miami is going to be as fruitful as he thinks it's going to be, but we'll see.
I'd agree with that.
I think he's going to have fun, though. Because we know the type of player he is. Miami's going to enjoy watching him play, for sure. Just healthy Giannis is scary as shit when he's not on your team. Because on our team, we like, he can do anything. He gonna carry us to the promised land no matter what. And he did a lot. So having that with somebody healthy on the side, like, damn. And then you got all night in front of him to be able to cut off the head off the snake. So
it's going to be weird seeing him in a jersey that's not Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm going to boo the mess out of him.
No.
With love, boo.
I mean, that's fair. I fuck with you till I don't. Like, yeah.
It's like, you know, people, first of all, people are being so extra with the, like, taking, you know, keepsakes to his mural. And, like, I'm glad that he said, guys, it's not like I died. But, like, my reaction was, well, you're dead to me. So,
oh, Lord.
Not like in life. I'm just saying, like,
in basketball terms.
In basketball terms, we're not cool no more. You're the enemy now. So
we good until we gotta play you. When we gotta play you, you definitely go get the booze.
And I think
but
some cheers.
If it wasn't Miami or Boston, which is like really those are the two options that you give us. Like if it wasn't one of those teams that we consistently went up against in the playoffs,
rival,
and usually lost to, like, that would be one thing. Like, I'd be very happy, like, rooting for him. It's the same thing with, like, Drew getting traded to Boston. It's like, Drew, I had no personal, like, animosity towards him because he got shipped out, which is another thing I'll get to. But it's hard rooting for people that were our rivals to do good, regardless of, like, how my personal feelings are for the player. So it's like, if he would have gone to, like, Houston or something, like, yeah, Houston's, like, my second favorite team now but it's like, my fan soul cannot root for Miami to have anything good happen to them.
I know that's right. Because when the Boston stuff was talking, I saw it was a picture on Twitter. You know, the picture with the gang members tying their flags together and they holding their flags together, and it was like, "This is going to be Celtics and Bucks fans if Giannis get traded here." And I was like, "The hell it will! Never, never, never will I cheer for the Boston Celtics. Never, absolutely not. That will not happen. I don't care if Giannis. No, thankfully he did not go there. That one would have hurt me more than Miami, but still, I'm going to be irritated. I know I will, but I am very happy that this is over, and I honestly am excited for what's to come with Bucks basketball. And I think a large part of that, honestly, is because of Taylor Jenkins. Like, I really believe in Taylor Jenkins and what he's going to be able to bring to the table, especially after reading the exposés that have since come out about how things fell apart to end the Giannis era and what was going on. And really, it can all boil down to the fact that the Bucks culture deteriorated. And you can point to various reasons as to why that was. But the culture deteriorated, the identity vanished. They didn't know who they were, what they was doing, who was coming, who was going. And Taylor, coming from that Mike Budenholzer tree, he understands exactly what he wants to do, the culture, the type of players they're bringing in. You can hear it now with what they're prioritizing in the draft. Positional size, which we haven't heard before. Like, oh, okay, I want positional. Okay, that's cool. Two-way players. You got to play defense for Taylor Jenkins. Like, there are certain things where I'm like, I believe in what he's going to be able to establish here. I'm excited to see what comes. I know it's going to be a lot of losses along the way, but it ain't as if, I mean, the Bucks won 32 games last year. If the Bucks win 32 games this year, I guarantee you it's going to be a more enjoyable 32-win season than whatever last year was.
I agree with you with Taylor Jenkins joint, because he's kind of like our Dan Campbell. he go bite a head off a bat type joint. Like, you stare at him wrong. Like, he's real hard. He seems real hard nosed, real tough minded. Like one of those kind of throwback coaches where it's like, hey, look, we come here to work, bro. Y'all can be cool when y'all want to be cool. When you step in this gym, you step in this building, we come here to work. The fun to come after all of that joint. All right, cool. Hey, you got your mic. You got your fancy flight. I can see you probably was in the back talking to the rookie like, you're good now, Rook. You got your fancy microphones out your face. You kind of hear it in the interview when they was talking to him like, yeah, you got the microphones and they got the hotels and you're good. Okay, we're ready to work. He's probably on their ass. All right, when you're done playing around in front of the media, we'll see you on Monday. We'll see you on Friday. Like, but I like that because it goes back to, let's just get some type of, this is still a business, bro. Like, at the end of the day, we can have fun, we can get the money, we can do whatever, but the product at the end of the day is what get us paid. Y'all want to get paid, you got to be good on this flow too. You want to be multi-millionaires, generational wealth, you have to be good here too. It all starts here with working. Bring that back. It seemed like it just got away for like a diva mentality around the whole organization damn near for the last couple of years, and everybody just doing whatever the fuck they want to do. No, you still need structure because it is still a business. Yep. At the end of the day, and all of the structures failed. Let's get this shit running back. But like I said, I agree with you on that because I feel like there'll be more gritty, more hard nosed. Like, I used the Joker meme when he broke the pool sticks and threw them in the floor. Like, hey, y'all figure this out. Like, we have a team. If you're looking at the roster, we have a roster full of people. Like, everybody gonna want to get on this floor. Everybody gonna be wanting to try to fight for it. Everybody gonna feel like it's the massive minutes have just opened up, and we've seen what it's like playing without them anyways. There's gonna be people that's on the bench that's coming in that's gonna be like, hey, I got better. Or those that are getting traded in, like, hey, we already got a spot. No, the hell you don't.
They don't. Everything's about to be earned.
PJ coming back. Okay, cool. Now we got KBJ, we got Rollins, we got Hero. Okay, who the fuck is finna come off the bench?
Now, I will say to that real quick, I don't think that as the roster currently stands will be the way it looks heading into the season. Like, the Bucks have like 6 guards, 7 guards right now on the roster. You mentioned Hero, Rollins,
Hero, Jaconis,
Yakachonis,
Burries,
AJ Green, KPJ.
I already said him.
Did you say Rollins?
I did. Gary Harris.
Yep.
Shit. Well, we already know
he ain't gonna play anyway. That's into the bench.
He may be the good vet they keep around.
No, you need the vet. You need a vet on your team. You need some of them, but
he might have specific types of vets. And like, obviously I'm not in the locker room, but like, I haven't seen anything from Gary that makes me think that he's like the mentoring type of vet. He just like
we don't know. We have no idea.
We don't know for sure, but like I've seen him in interviews, and like the vibe that I get is like, hey man, they willing to pay me a check, so I'm gonna take it, kind of thing.
That's how I thought about Taurean Prince, but everybody spoke very highly of him in that locker room last year. So it's like Bobby Portis too, where I didn't expect that, but he became like the vet for the young dudes.
Which is why I was like, I think that's an underreported part of the deal. It's like I don't know necessarily why Bobby was included. Like I don't know how to value that. Like as far as like, was that something that the Bucks pushed on it? Was that something that Miami kind of like wanted on their end? Maybe it was just like it's a package deal. Because like I was all prepared for it's like, dang, I wasn't expecting Bobby Portis to be the last man standing from the championship team, and then they got shipped out together. So I was like, okay, well, that's fair. But like I was kind of hoping. Well, I was just gonna say I was kind of hoping that Bobby would kind of stay around because I think culture-wise, like he's a really good kind of foundational piece, at least like what has been Milwaukee Bucks basketball. And you kind of speak to that and kind of instill that, to your point, like in tandem with Taylor Jenkins, who's already kind of proven that he can build a culture.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk the young dudes, the Bucks draft. You mentioned Brayden Burries, one of the guards that's going to be in the room. He was selected 10th by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2026 draft out of Arizona. My co-host on Locked On Bucks, Justin, was hype about that because he is an Arizona basketball fan. He still can't believe that Brayden Burries is actually on this team. Then you also have Ament, who was selected 13th by the Bucks via the Miami Heat in this trade for Giannis. So 2 new rookies, a big guard, and a big wing. How are you feeling about the Bucks draft? I should also mention 2nd round draft pick Malik Lewis, 60th pick in the draft. Not sure if he's gonna be a draft and stash type of guy, but we will see. But thoughts on the Bucks rookies? Yeah, you can go ahead and go first.
Yeah, I was really happy with, and like you can go back and check my tweets at Bucksburner on Twitter. But my tweets before the draft were like, I would be happy if they leave with any 2 of the 3, which were Brayden Burries, Cameron Carr, or Ament. And we got 2 of the 3. Like I know people were kind of, pre-draft, people were kind of like, I'm not sure about Ament, but like I like pairing. Yeah, I like pairing kind of like the safer pick with Burries with the home run swing with Ament. Like if it was just Ament, it'd be like a lot of eggs in one basket, but like having one where it's like, okay, I think I know exactly what his floor is in the NBA, and like he has a large ceiling, which is Burries, but it's like median outcome, he should be a productive player for years to come. And then Ament is like, it's all upside. It's like maybe it's nothing, but if it's something, then it should really be something. Like they seem to complement each other personality wise, just from the intro press conference that they did yesterday. They both seem like really impressive kids, like interview wise, which was kind of like my first red flag with Adrian Griffin when they hired him. So like interviews, like regardless of what they actually say, just like their demeanor and like within interviews can kind of tell you a lot about somebody without knowing them personally. So like they passed the vibe check on that end of things, but like I think they're really good pieces to kind of throw into the competition pile that is like the Bucks roster currently.
Tim, what you thinking?
I was geeked when we got Burries. They're among the guards in the draft, those top guards. He was still in that mix within that 5 through 9 range,
and the best defender of the bunch.
And he's one of the bigger ones too, because like even though he's 6'4", he like 205, 210. Like he's solid, and he actually plays that way. And I think Taylor Jenkins, one, he likes being coached hard, so the type of coach he has that they paired him with, according to him, he's like, hey, I like that. 2, if he's going to make him be a little more aggressive with using his body, because he can get down here. Like a lot of people talk about the 3-and-D aspect of him, but he can get down. That motherfucker can bang, bro. Like if you go ahead and check out some of his film and stuff like that, like outside of the shooting, but he still shot almost 40% from 3 on the season, almost 50% from the field. So it's like it's not necessarily only relying upon a 3, but he has a reliable 3, more than reliable 3. He can get downhill, he can pass, and he likes to rebound. Like what he said he likes, and what I like to hear was he like winning plays. So like just because I'm not knocking down threes or I'm not putting up the buckets don't mean I can't do anything else. Let me get the steals. Let me get the blocks. Let me get the rebounds. Let me get the assists. Let me try to figure out some way to help make a winning play. That is what all coaches desire and love for sure. Because it's like, no matter what, you're not going to give up on. You're going to figure out some way to make sure that we good. And I can fuck with that. I can help that. I can coach that. We can figure out what happened that game and we can move on to the next one.
I know that's right. To your point about Burries, when I was looking through like his actual film and whatnot, the touch he has around the rim, I'm like, he is nice. He is a true 3-level scorer. Depending on where you look, like above the break threes, he shot 54% and it's above the break threes. He was shooting 62% around the rim as well. Like the man is a bucket. He's a dog. He likes playing defense. He gets into it. He moves very well. He has great screen navigation. As you mentioned, he's 6'4", so you're looking like another 6'4" guard for the Bucks. But like to your point, Tim, he is stocky. Like he uses his strength well. He's what you want. A 3-level guard that can play defense, can rebound relatively well for his position. He's exactly what you be looking for. I think for him, he has to keep working on his handle a little bit. The passing is fine. It's not like he's a combo guard in my opinion. Passing is fine. Those are areas he can continue to work on. But as you mentioned, the pairing of him with Nate Ament is what made for me this draft like that's a win. We don't know how good these guys are going to be for another few years, but the idea of what the Bucks are going for here, I can get behind. If it was just Nate Ament, I'd be pretty nervous. But even going through some of his film and whatnot and looking at how he played, it actually was better than what I thought that it would be. The spacing in Tennessee was absolutely horrendous, like bad, like to the point where his coach actually told him, like, yeah, I know it's not much room at the rim for you, so like just pull up in mid-range. How many coaches tell players that now in college? Pull up in the mid-range. So like his shooting efficiency was not great. He has to become a more efficient player, especially around the rim. The finishing was not good. Some of it you can point to, like, yes, there were big body, like a lot of bodies just in the paint he had to navigate around, but also it has to get better. It was pretty abysmal what he was shooting around the rim to be 6'10". So there are areas for improvement, but he is the upside pick where if everything does work out for Nate Ament, you hit because the talent is there. He was very highly regarded coming out of high school. Season at Tennessee was, but again, the passing is there for him. That's something that's he can dribble. He can handle a bit. He has positional size. He needs to get stronger. And he has put on, I think he put on 20 pounds just during his time at Tennessee. So like he's dedicated to it. I'm excited for both of these guys to hit the floor. I'm glad the Bucks are in the California Classic Summer League in addition to the Vegas Summer League, because we get to watch some young Bucks play basketball on the 4th of July. Like it's starting early for this cycle, not to mention the fact that you still have Bogalup Markovic, who was playing overseas. Looking forward to seeing what he looks like this summer if he comes over for the team. So I don't think the Bucks are going to be good in the sense of of a playoff team, contending where we have been the last few years. But I think we're going to have some fun with how these young dudes play. So I'm all in. Any other draft thoughts here on the Bucks guys before we continue on with the convo?
Yeah, just kind of echo because I didn't really speak.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just I think I have a lag now. So I'll do this and then try to fix my situation. But echoing your sentiments on Ament, like there's a lot there. There's a lot of noise, both good and bad. But I think that if you look at the good, like if you look at the things that he's done poorly, it's like it's coachable, it's correctable things. It's not like a fatal flaw necessarily. And like there are so few guys in the world that are 6'10" that can do some of the things that he can do. So again, like if you can nurture that, develop it in a systematic way, and especially like bring his body along, because to your point, he has to get stronger. So many of the like bad plays I saw on tape were just like he's not physical enough. Like he's physical and like he tries to play physical, but he just doesn't have the strength or the heft to pull off what he's trying to do. So again, like if he can get his weight up, get his strength up, I think that unlocks so much and again, correcting his role. Like they force fed him into a role that he wasn't necessarily ready for at Tennessee, but coming in as a top 5 recruit, coming in with all the hype, like sure. But I think that correcting his role, coaching him up, and developing his body, like are 3 of the things that you can really get you to a player that has a baseline, and then it's just about getting experience.
Agreed.
As far as Nate goes, y'all pretty much hit the nail on the head with it. I was in the camp of I didn't really care for us wanting to draft him, but going through the Bucks' history and why. Because of the fact that you could, in essence, like at this point in time with what a franchise is, I'm cool with taking the swing of this could turn into another Giannis type of situation, because you're drafting these tall wings with point forward capabilities, or the ability or the pathway to that, at least rangy, athletic, court vision. Like, I get it. So Ament is along those lines. So is Malik Lewis. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I kind of got a little more intrigued.
he's really raw though.
But that's the part that makes it more intriguing. Because so was Giannis. Giannis was really raw when we saw him. He
wasn't Malik Lewis raw.
Right, but I'm not saying this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the same thing. It's just more so like, I know based off of what I see now, and I can see the intrigue. I see why y'all like, I'll take a flyer on this cat because he's still got ways to grow too. He's still youngest. I think he's only 18, ain't he?
Who? Malik Lewis. No, he's 21 or 20. Yeah, 20 or 21.
But
yeah, 21. And also, I would say, like, I'm more concerned about his athleticism because he doesn't really have that pop
much
burst.
But yeah, I'm thinking about both of them, and I was like, at this point in time, in the way the roster's set up, we do have good players on the team. So it's not like we don't have any good players. We have some good players. It could have just been the coaching. It could have just been the culture last year would change some of the results, because there was plenty of games where we were like, if y'all want to just fold it, bro, like what the fuck going on down here?
Maybe you got a plan.
Record, so it could have, and a lot of it came down to coaching. So we do have a squad to where I'm looking at it, and like you said, we do got a bunch of guards and stuff, but adding Nate Ament allows him to really just develop. Like, honestly, like even if it's 2 years later, 3 years later, we have the time now. Like, unless we just somehow pop out of nowhere and somebody just takes another step to be like an all-star level and match, if Hero's still there, say he matches his 2025 all-star level. Say somebody else steps up and become that, because Jaquez was runner-up to 6th man of the year. Say he takes another step this year. Say Seth Rollins. I keep on calling him Seth Rollins. Ryan Rollins takes another step. Like, let's just say that's 3 close, because he played really well last year. If he take another step,
you didn't even mention Ware.
Khalil Ware can just take off, because maybe some cats here gel well with him that didn't gel with Miami. Because you got more guard, you got better guards here. Honestly, I feel like than Miami did. You got the rookie last year, you got Davion Mitchell, and then
Pella Larson.
My point. So I feel like KPJ and Rollins are better than both of them at this point. So you're here with different types of players now. Jaquez like throwing lobs, Hero like throwing lobs to Ware, but you have 2 other motherfuckers who really like throwing lobs too. One more so KPJ than anything, but like
just KPJ.
You pair those like real athletic cats out there. You have a lineup running up there like that. Like, some players may enjoy running with certain lineups. So it's like what we have now is so many options that Nate can pick up different traits from everybody. Like, we have the athletic guys, we have the taller guards, we have the rangy guys like the Jangs or the Princes. Like,
well, Jangs is a restricted free agent still, so we got to figure out what they're going to do with him. The roster is actually already up to 13 before Taurean Prince has made his decision, which I think we know what that's going to be, opt out. Before they make a decision on Pete Nance guaranteeing his contract, before they make a decision on if they want to keep Andre Jackson Jr., before they make the decision on Jang, and before they make a decision, it's one more player. Bogaloo, if he's going to come over or not. So, like, there's more moves coming for this team to kind of clear up the space. But one last thought I do have draft-wise, because Tim, you made me start thinking about it. Bucks over the last few years, picking in the late 20s in the first round when they had a draft pick, continuously went for the upside swings in the 20s, which I can understand. In retrospect, probably should have looked for more senior players, like could probably come in and play a little bit right now if needed to, rather than taking the swings at that point. But now, where you don't have a franchise cornerstone, take the swing. I get why you take the swing, especially taking the swing when you already have a single or a double that you feel great about in Brayden Burries, of like, feel good about this. Let's see if we can get an upside swing as well, because you are in search of a franchise cornerstone. And it's not to put that weight on any of those guys right now, but like, take the swing.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of what I was alluding to last week when we had the pre-draft conversation. But it's like there's a difference between taking a swing on somebody at 25 that's maybe a fringe first-round talent versus somebody that was a top 5, recruit in his high school class and has people as high as 6. Like, oh, he might go there. Like that. That's a different swing than just like going up to the plate and blindfolded and spinning around getting while you're drunk. Like that's basically the swings that they've taken the last couple of years, where it's like, we don't need to relitigate the Bucks draft record, but like I think Jalen Brunson, and not to compare anybody to Jalen Brunson because he's an outlier, but like he's kind of the archetype where it's like players that stay in school longer that are seen as like lower upside usually come in with a much higher floor, which is like I can get onto the court. And again, like Jimmy Butler was another example of just somebody that's like they started as a role player. As they increased playing time, like they got more experience, they started to branch out and did more things. Like that's actually a home run swing in my opinion, but it's like, but I'm also hitting for contact, and if it happens to go over the fence, like so be it. Like I'm gonna stop it there because I don't have much more baseball knowledge, so I'm not gonna try to stretch the analogy further. But like I think that was the flaw in their drafting strategy. So like people looking at like, oh man, they picked another DJ Wilson, or they picked another AJ Johnson, or they picked another Marjon. It's like apples to oranges comparisons when we're talking about the level of prospect that they're taking a swing on.
That was my thing with going through and looking at those is we should have learned when we drafted Malcolm Brogdon.
Facts.
And squad.
Facts.
There you go. And now we got an older player, and he came in right away, contributed right away. Yeah, we had to pay him sooner, but we were able to get further faster. So it made me want to go down a rabbit hole. And I started, but I haven't really gone completely down it. How many second-round picks have helped championship teams? Like within a couple years of them getting drafted, that's like a project. But because I feel like if you are a win now team, why not draft the older players? I get you talking about, oh, well, our window might close soon, but if you have a valuable commodity right now, say your window closed, Bucks, for example, say we go with Terrence Shannons or the more established other players, and then this happens. We then had other assets, so to speak. Well, hey, he was able to get on the floor right away. He showed that he contributed right away. Hey, this is an asset now. And this is what Miami did, because all those players we got, they had to get on the floor. They had to play. We have to see that they actually were worth a damn. So same concept. If you are in a win now team, it makes more sense to me to draft a player, unless it's a potential that fills a need, a win now player or a more seasoned player into your squad, because you know for a fact that they're going to be able to at least contribute. Like I said, that's why I like Yaks. Yaks would have been perfect with Giannis, of course, because he would have been able to get on the floor right away, contribute right away, rebound, help, like a lot of just a glue guy kind of right away. But we don't need that because we have a younger squad now. So it's like, exact same thing. That's what made me kind of go through that, because I was like, we should have learned that lesson then. I'm so hell bent on not playing this nigga. They just completely forgot the blueprint.
I mean, that also explains why the older. I didn't remember if my kid was in here. That's why the old ass Warriors wound up being the ones to pick Yaxel, because like that's what they needed in the life cycle of their contention window. I did want to backtrack a little bit because we were talking about coaches and like the coaching changes that they've made and kind of like the deterioration of the Bucks culture. Like I will say, like I think Jim Owczarski's piece was fair to all parties. Like I think it like he did a really good job of identifying where the blame lied with each stakeholder in the Bucks organization. I will say it's been like a stunning, like what came through to me was a stunning lack of like accountability. I feel like, especially from Giannis, where it's like you are the key driver of culture of, like you're the leader of the franchise, at least as far as the players are concerned. It's like you do have some responsibility in upholding that standard that you think has been set for the Bucks. You're also were involved in the coaching change and selecting. Like, you're the one that wanted Bud out. Apparently, you're the one that was like, Griff is our guy. Then things go left immediately, and it's just like, what are we doing here? Why do we get rid of Bud? And why is this idiot our coach kind of thing? And then it's like you kept kind of holding the gun to the organization. Like, you guys got to give me better players, Literally, the only way that they could get Damian Lillard would be by trading Drew Holiday. And then you're upset that Drew Holiday is gone off your team when you validated their decision by then signing the contract extension right after the trade happens. It's like, it's just been, the public side versus what's apparently been going on beneath the surface. It's like there's so much of a gap between the two things. And it's like, I said it a number of times this season, it's just like, stop gaslighting. It's like, if you
facts,
don't every sign, if you know how to read the tea leaves, every sign is pointing to, this is how you feel about the situation. Even your own body language. I mean, lying in the press conference to start the season, I ain't talking about my future. It's like, but your whole you skip training camp essentially with COVID.
Not the quotes.
I'm just saying, man, it's real convenient where you're trying to duck and dodge questions about your future. You just happen to not be there for media day. All right, bro. But yeah, anyway, we don't need to go back down that road, because again, it's things that we've said. If you've watched this show over the last year, it's things that we've said that are completely validated now by
facts
after the fact. So go back and check out Tech Files.
Yeah, that's why we always say, listen to Tech File, man. We be on it. Listen, it's almost 50 minutes in, and it's just been all Bucks so far. Let me ask y'all this. I think let's save the LaMelo trade and all of that for next week. Because I'm sure there's going to be free agency will be kicking off at that time too. So I'm sure there'll be other moves that will have been made, and we can kind of talk about the changing landscape of the NBA with the trades that have been made. But before we completely wrap on NBA stuff, do you have any other thoughts from the draft as a whole? Not just what the Bucks did during the draft, whether it's teams whose drafts you like, how things unfolded, anything draft related that you want to get off your chest before we swerve in that corner. Whoa.
I liked Atlanta's draft between Kingston Fleming, Zuby Ejiofor, which I don't know if we got to that part of the conversation last week, but he was one of my first round sleepers where I'm I really like what he's put on tape. And then they got Henry Vessar in the second round, like
52nd.
Yeah. So I really like what they've done. I mean, honestly, what Atlanta is building, they're kind of what I hope the Bucks are in 3 to 5 years, where it's just they have youth and athleticism, positional size, really heady basketball players at pretty much every position. They're too deep kind of across the board at this point, or at least too deep with interesting prospects / established players. And I think they have such a runway to go. Pairing Kingston Flemings with Jalen Johnson, that's exactly the type of point guard that he needs, where it's kind of it isn't necessarily I got to pound the air. A-Cuff with Johnson wouldn't necessarily fit, but a Kingston Flemings type of point guard, especially because he gets after it defensively, chef's kiss. I think the only thing that they really need is a really big physical rim protector kind of center. Which again, I think Ejiofor, he's undersized, but he does bring a lot of that physicality too. So I like what Atlanta did. I think the draft overall was just kind of it. Everybody's picks made sense. Everybody's moves made sense. I saw a lot of draft grades, which are essentially useless, but I think what it illustrates is there were A's, A minuses, B pluses, across the board, because it's everybody's moves. I get it. It makes sense for where you are as an organization and the type of prospects that you targeted.
I like Charlotte's. I really did like Charlotte's draft. Picking up Christian Anderson and Hans Steinbeck was huge. Was in the LaMelo trade. I really did like as we got closer to the draft, and I mentioned him early on. And I think the first time I mentioned Hans, you were like that German dude, something like that. But like, yeah, I really think he's gonna be like a David Lee type, like just a double.
That's an interesting comp.
He has the footwork, he has the size, he's a crazy rebounder, especially on the offensive rebounder side. Like he's gonna come in the league snatching hella boards, and every team could use somebody to just not like 15 boards a game. Like you can use it, but he's also got good footwork. He got good size. I think he's like 6'11" and everything. Like he got a nice touch around the rim. Like it's not like he has the same ceiling as like the Wilsons and the Boozers and stuff like that, but his floor is already right there. Like he already was. And as a freshman last year, like again, led the country in rebounding, and he's putting up I think almost 20 a game. I think it's like 18 and 12 or 13 a game or some shit like that. Like he's gonna be. I love that fit in Charlotte with them because they needed a body like that on top of Christian Anderson.
Can I just add on? Like I love when players come in with an already established. Like I know what he's gonna do. Like I'll give Doc Rivers credit for this. Like that was one thing that he identified immediately taking over. He's like, AJ Green can shoot. I can use him. like it's like sometimes we overcomplicate things, but like if it's just like, hey, this guy's gonna go out there and get me like 9 to 12 boards a game, and you like, cool. That's all I need to know. Like if I need rebounding, this is the guy that I'm going to, and we can kind of like he's very easy to slot into a lineup. So yeah, like I love when like even if it's on a role player level, I love when they come in with an elite skill because that at least gives you a baseline like to get onto the floor.
Agreed. I think my draft takeaways is something that you hit on, Eric, which was that this was a really, really projected, talented draft, a deep draft. I don't think I've ever spent as much time as I did with the 2026 class of getting to know the prospects ahead of time. In large part, the Bucks haven't had a lottery pick in so long. I just haven't had to really dig into the top of the draft to this level before. And this was like my first big draft that I really spent the time in and got to know the prospects and hear a name. Oh, that's a good fit. And that's a good fit. And I like this player. And I like this. And I just kept being like, oh, I like that pickup. Oh, that's a good pickup. Like there's only a handful of times where I was like, not sure if I really like the fit there. Like, when LeBaron Philon went to the Sixers, I was like, I like Philon. I don't know about the fit with Philly, but outside of something like that, everything I was like, man, I'm just excited to see these dudes hoop like this. I want to see this draft class hoop. I am ready for it. So yeah, I'm sad the 2026 draft is over at this point. With as much as I've learned about them, and then looking ahead to like the way too early 27 mocks, everybody's kind of like, I hope you enjoyed last year. I hope you enjoyed 26. And there's going to be guys who emerge next year. There always are, but it's just the depth of what the 26 class was, where people, the first round, where they're like, if you have a top 20, maybe 25 pick in the first round, you should be able to walk away with somebody who can contribute. Like that's not common where everyone collectively is like, you got 25 like first round graded players here who could be helpful. So it was a fun class. I enjoyed the draft, enjoyed the fits. I think that was it Christian Anderson who was throwing up the GD did y'all see that clip?
Yes, Burries.
Burries did too. It was two of them. I thought one was Anderson. Burries had a little deer antler. Made it like a peace sign, but it was a little
it was a very lazy peace sign. It was the Orange Cassidy of peace signs.
And then right after, I think it was Christian Anderson who really threw them right. I was like, what's happening here? But yeah, shout out to the 26th class. I'm looking forward to it. Summer League should be fun. Which again, you take with a grain of salt, Summer League, because of the environment, but still it's hoops. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I will say to your point about like the depth of this class, like I think that's another reason why it's like Nate Ament is on a whole nother, and like this isn't me caping for a guy that's a Buck now, but it's just like the 13th pick in this draft is the equivalent of like 7 or 8 pick in like a typical draft, I feel like. So it's like, yeah, you take swings on those guys because like they may hit.
He might be top 3 in 27 if he would have stayed.
I mean, he got a big compliment from AJ DeBonsa, where they was like, I think he was talking to Stephen A. And they was like, who's the top guys in this draft with you? He was like, Peterson and Ament. He was like, no, like years down the line, we're gonna be talking about some names. He's like, who's the guys? He's like, Peterson and Ament. I was like,
I also thought they were working out together, so that might just be his guy.
It could be. They played against each other in high school. I was watching a high school game, and
I mean, I saw like a pre-draft workout where they were like basically
the two of them were together.
Same drill. So I think it's just like that's my.
But that could also be why he thinks it, because he's like, I've seen the kid hooping. Like I know.
I've seen the work ethic. Like if you get a chance, check out if you can't find the full game, at least the highlights of their game against each other. They was cooking.
That reminded me, really quick, during the Bucks rookie presser, Nate kind of let us slide. He was like, me and Brayden were supposed to hoop together at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brayden starts laughing. He's like, but then he went to Arizona, and Brayden was like, yeah, things were lined up with Tennessee, but once I got to Arizona, I was like, this is actually it. This is where I need to be. So
translation, Arizona cut the check. Which they can do now legally. So
yeah. Which again, NIL is really changing up the second round. And I think I texted to y'all. I don't know if I said it on the show, but the Bucks ain't really got too many second rounders. And yes, you want them, but they have never been less valuable, in my opinion, than what they are now, given the influx of guys that just go back to school because they can get a bigger bag.
Yeah, I mean, like there was only one pick in the second round this year that was made by the team that originally owned it. Like second rounders are purely theoretical at this point. It's just like it's trade currency more than anything. Like once you actually make the pick, it's like half of the guys will either be drafting stash or two ways, or like it's more so about like matching in the second round. Like that's why Vasar went 52. It's not because he's the 52nd best player on the board. It's because he was like teams picking before him were like, hey, we'll put you on a two-way. He's like, no, I want a guaranteed deal. So like that's why it failed the way that it did.
Yeah. All right. Well, Night of Champions, did we want to be Night of Champions? No. All right. That does take place tomorrow. I think at like 1 p.m. Central Time too. So I'm not going to see that until late Saturday evening. So hopefully we have a good show, and hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. Very, very Bucks centric, but I feel like that's deserved when an era like this one comes to a close with Giannis and everything that he's meant for this franchise, what he's been. I mean, we started this show in 2017, and that was when Giannis was like coming into himself. So it's been a Tech File staple. We had joygasms when he re-signed extensions and celebrated a championship and all the things on the pod, and now we bid him farewell. But if you were watching the video version of the show, a lot of Bucks gear from us today, because regardless of the names on the back of the jersey, we are Milwaukee Bucks fans, and we're gonna be watching our team, cheering our team, talking about how they can get back to championship contention, even if that takes some time. But we'll see. We're here for the ride, and we hope that y'all gonna be here for the ride alongside us here at Tech File, where normally we do talk more general NBA than just Bucks, but this week a little bit different. So make sure you follow us on social at Technical File, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Technical File Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. If you are looking to follow me, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all the places at Camille Monet, CAMILLEMONAE.
Yeah, I was hitting the Dr. Robotnik, so I'm gonna keep my video off. But I want to say before we sign off, next week, Tuesday, is actually the opening of free agency, so we'll be potting during the opening stages of free agency, so that should be exciting. But yeah, don't follow me.
Yeah, follow the pod instead. Ken's not here, but if you want to follow Ken, it's everyday_gentleman on Instagram, K Harris 216 everywhere else.
And it's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. We up out of here though.
We up out of here. Hopefully, some in-person studio time is coming soon for us. Hopefully it's coming soon. So thank y'all for rocking with us. Hope y'all have a great rest of y'all weekend, and we'll catch y'all next week.